ladies and gentlemen, Smile Eating Jesus! Guys, welcome. And water. Congratulations, guys, on the completion of the album. And cheers! It's a wonderful thing. All right, guys, welcome. We're at the 3DB studio with Smile Eating Jesus. Good evening, guys. How y'all doing?
Great,
Tracy, how are you?
All right, doing all right.
Good to be here.
Good evening.
We're going to be talking about your new album. It's right here. It's a beautiful looking album. This is Anne Funk's Diary, a nice new full-length album from Smile Eating Jesus, recorded here at 3DB Studio. And, well, before we get started, why don't we just go down the line here and introduce yourselves to everybody that knows you and doesn't know you. That's the ones that are important.
My name's Nick Upchurch. I play guitar.
I'm Michael Keith Lazenheiser. I'm the vocalist and main lyricist.
Matt Daly, Skins, Sins, and Twins.
And I'm Austin. I play bass.
All right, guys, thanks for being here. Again, Anne Funk's Diary, it released October the 2nd. And you guys let us know where, we can get the album, where it's available. And so where can we get it?
Anywhere you enjoy music. It's available through CD Baby, iTunes,
Google Play.
Apple Music. You can stream it on Spotify. You can find it on Pandora. Go to your local bar and find it on TouchTunes. You can find this anywhere.
And go to SmileEatingJesus.com. You can buy a physical copy as well.
And stream it on Bandcamp.
That's right.
All right, but probably the best way to get your CD is to go see a live show and buy one autographed, right?
Yeah.
Practically guaranteed.
Practically guaranteed
As
autograph.
long as we don't forget a Sharpie.
Unless you're like offloading from the stage all your equipment and everything, right? And
Yeah.
Oh, come up to us. We'll sign it.
yeah, sure thing. All right.
We'll have you hold my drums while we sign your album, actually.
Right? If you just place it right over there, we'd be, very appreciative. All right, so I bet you there's a lot of people out there that are kind of curious how you guys got together, where you started from. So take us back in time a little bit and let us know how you guys got together.
So, what was it, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
So back then, Keith and I were good friends. We used to work together. One time when we were working, he introduced me to a band called Ween. And right out the bat, I just became obsessed with them. And so we were just listening to Ween all the time. And, we got the idea in our heads that we just wanted to start playing some Ween songs. And, well, what happened after that, man?
Yeah, basically, we would sit in my garage, listen to Ween a lot. We would go to a local club back in Muncie, Indiana, where we're from, called Be Here Now, and see a lot of bands play, come through.
We could do that.
Yeah, we literally thought we could do that. We love Ween. Let's just start a Ween cover band. And booked a couple shows. It just started out, we were just going to play an open mic, learn a couple songs.
Then we started writing our own songs, and we were like, hey, we're actually, we like the songs we're writing. I bet other people would too. And so we just started forming an actual set list and played a couple shows at Be Here Now. And at
local
that point,
support of some touring bands. And
exactly. Yeah. And at that point, it was time for our band to grow a little bit. We felt like we had kind of outgrown our one electric guitar and vocalist. And so then that's when Austin and Daly came in.
Austin and I were both working at Be Here Now back in Muncie, 505 Dill Street. Check it out.
Shout out Whitney.
One night, Austin had called me up and said that he saw these two guys playing at the bar that night that he really liked. They were playing some stuff that he thought we were both into for the most part. And I actually realized once he said that it was Nick Upchurch that him and I had actually known each other for 10 years before that through a mutual friend.
Yeah, I saw him playing just the guitar and vocals out back on the stage, and immediately fell in love with a few of the songs. It was really good stuff. They just didn't have the crowd fully locked in. Everyone was just kind of hanging back. I figured, let's get these boys the rest of the band. And we kind of all talked to each other. You guys have like a little bit of a story with that, because I thought I came to you and
We had decided like the same day, I'm pretty sure, that we were
Right.
just like, maybe we can ask Austin and Daly because they both worked at the bar. And so I swear to God, like I thought we came to you, but I guess it was mutual. It's meant to
so
be.
it was a symbiotic relationship from the get-go.
What was funny is the first time we were ever going to practice, we were going to practice at the bar before they opened at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, Nick and I didn't get there till like 4 in the afternoon. Well, the bar opened at like 5, and these guys are setting up the bar, and they start to, and we come in and they say, guys, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And we thought that they were saying they didn't like
They
our
didn't wanna
music and
join
they
the
didn't want to be
band.
in the band. They were saying we don't want to start practicing now because the bar's going to open in an hour, and
I think
it's
the
prob-
first practice we had was in Austin's basement.
Oh, that's right. And then it was after that first
Yeah,
practice that they were like,
basement. That was gross.
Yeah, it
We
was
should have
cold.
been down there.
It was like
That was a
January.
cave.
yeah, it was in January, freezing cold, stunk.
But that was mostly our fault.
Right.
Yeah.
But that
So-
sounds like a lot of fun, though. And starting a great start there. You guys started making some music together. You were writing some original music. I know Anne Funk's Diary is not your first album. Tell us a little bit about the first album and how you guys went through that process.
First album was baby shaking music. Basically every day before practice, after we had fooled around for a little while, and we were getting ready to actually start playing music. Daly'd be saying, "All right, it's time to shake this baby," and that just kind of stuck. And we were like, "Okay, our first album's gonna be called Baby Shaking Music."
It was
There
pretty
weren't any babies around to inspire that saying.
Thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
But
that you
so we
know
got
of.
an opportunity through our friend CD Tolbert. He was in a audio visual class or something,
Audio
Audio
production.
engineering.
Yeah, audio production.
and he needed someone for his final project. He needed a band to record, so he asked us to do it, and we did the whole album in about 15 hours, one day, right before Halloween. It was a long, long day.
Grueling process.
Yeah.
When someone tells you it's okay to use their $1 million studio,
You
You-
take
yeah.
full
You
take 'em up on
advantage.
it.
you don't leave until they kick you out.
So yeah, it was like one 15-hour recording session, and then Austin got CD's swipe card, ID pass, and would go in and do the production in the studio.
Over
You
the
know,
next
from
few
overnight,
nights,
10,
basically.
10 at night till 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning,
I think it was the dead of night, wasn't it?
dead of night.
Yes, it was.
Nice.
Yeah, I would go in there and be mixing and editing all night, and then notice some students walking around and decide, oh, I better get out of here before we get caught.
These are official.
That's
Don't
awesome.
tell Ball State, by the way.
And this was all back in Muncie, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But
Ball State
we're here in
University
Colorado.
was very good to us.
Yeah, well, that's good. But we're here in Colorado, and I'm curious what brought you guys out here.
We outgrew Muncie. We really felt like we outgrew it pretty quickly, and as we were looking at, what we could do as a band in the Midwest, it didn't really line up with what we wanted to do completely. We could have easily been running around playing festivals all over the midsummer, but we wanted to shoot a little higher than that.
So basically, Austin and I think we both just lost our jobs or something.
Yeah, I got kicked out of my house, lost my job, and it was time to go.
Yeah, we just felt like it was time to move on. And
At
so
first, I thought it was a pipe dream, not a plan. Then these guys actually moved out here.
yeah, within like a week of having the idea, we're like, hey, you want to move to Colorado? Yeah, we were gone. Like it was pretty simple. And then shortly afterwards, like a year or so, Keith moves out here. So there was like a couple year hiatus in our band, and then just about a year and a half ago, Daly came out here, and we kind of hit the ground running, started playing shows, and got the album together as soon as we could.
That's cool. So that brings us kind of up to a little bit more current, where y'all started writing some new material. which then became Anne Funk's Diary. So so let's talk about that just a little bit. And going into that first, I want to ask how you guys found out about 3DB Studio and why you chose to record here.
Found an ad on Craigslist that literally said, "Are you good enough?" It's just scrolling through, and there it is. So I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I am." Click
It's a
on
challenge.
that. Yeah. Click on that. Start reading through the post, and think, well, if this is nothing, then
Yeah, we'll go give them
whatever.
a meeting, and then if it's nothing, it's nothing. We're not out anything.
right. But if it's something, let's see what it is. I mean, I believe I told you guys on the drive down. I mean, this could very well be some guy in his garage with some foam board up. And then we got here and we realized it was a guy in his garage that he had $1 million.
It was a very professional studio, and we decided right away that it was the studio for us. The whole process, basically, he promised us would be essentially a custom album. Like whatever album we wanted, he would help us engineer.
That original consultation session, I'm not going to say we were originally sold, but it was definitely, it was a positive experience with the professionalism, the upfront nature of how, and the vision that the people at 3DB Studio had as well. The professionalism, the commitment to excellence, the equipment.
They're all just really nice guys,
And
too.
they're just great
just
guys.
a pleasure
We had
to
a lot in
work with
common.
all around.
During this time, I was still back in Indiana having these insane fever dreams of this man, Dan Bregan. And I didn't know that it would come to pass that he would manifest into my life and really help us with our vision of what we wanted this album to be.
Yeah,
Now we have Christmas together, and it's great,
Yeah, and for the record, Dan Bregan is the engineer here at 3DB Studio. So walk us through the recording process a little bit, what you guys went through in order to get this album done.
Because of scheduling, it was kind of a long process. But every time we could make it over here, we did, and it was a lot of fun. Drums came first. That was probably the hardest part, because we had to make sure everything's exactly right in
Right,
order to
and
move
Matt
on.
hadn't had a lot of time on the tracks yet either.
Yeah, I'd only had, maybe not even a month with all the new songs.
But I did a great job, And then, what was it, like the last day of drums, we also did bass. Bass came pretty easy. Austin's pretty in tune with all these songs.
Yeah, we've been playing them out for,
You and I have
even
been
the
doing
new
it
ones
for
we
years.
wrote. Yeah, we have been playing out those for just you and I for months even.
Guitar was a little more of an involved process. He had all these interesting tricks and stuff that he did with the guitar. Let me
Dan,
really
not Nick.
experiment a little bit, make sure I got the right sound. And I remember one day we just kind of flew through almost all the tracks, and I was just on that day. I also broke a guitar in here, which sucked.
It was a nice guitar.
Yeah. But
There was
that's
one
neither here nor
Like
there.
casualties of war, man.
Shout out Eric Lotzenheiser.
But yeah, guitar was a lot of fun to record. It was just difficult, It's hard to get all the parts exactly right to where you're happy with them. And then after that was vocals.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Any musician that's been in the studio and taken some time to record knows how grueling a process it can be, as far as the repetitive nature, going back, listening. It felt great. It felt great, but I don't like the way that sounded. Another take, that kind of thing. And so by the time I was here, all the guitars were layered. Everything was mixed to where I just had to come in and sing. But again, a couple of sessions I felt really good about when I left. Like I was right on the money. A few of the sessions, you leave and you feel like, I hope I got something out of that 2 or 3 hour session. But yeah, overall the process was,
Dan made you very
very
comfortable while
rewarding.
you're in here, and
Oh yeah, if you didn't like the take and you needed to do a different one,
he
do
didn't
it
rush
again, do
it.
it
He
again.
didn't
If you needed to take 5 and just take a deep breath, if you needed any input as far as what's it sounding like out there, well, why don't you try this? It was a great process.
Having that bit of patience from a sound engineer really helps us
Goes a
be
long way.
comfortable as far as, doing what we know we want to do and what we have been doing.
Yeah, this is our first time working in these conditions. Like, we have complete reign over our first album.
And I
We did
think-
it all ourselves.
I think the best part was that we didn't feel rushed. In most studios you go in and you're paying per hour, and you have to just deliver in order to not spend a fortune. And Dan was very patient with us and just let us get the product that we wanted. He saw our vision just as clearly as we did.
Right on, and I do believe that the album turned out great. I think it sounds great. You guys are true musicians, and your creativity is very high. So, great job on the album.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, with that, let's talk about some specifics on the album. So we'll go down the line here and pick a song, talk about a song a little bit and what you liked about it.
All right, so I like "Take What You Want." It's the second track on the album. It was just very in true SmileEatingJesus kind of style. It was very organic the way we came up with it. I had a new delay pedal that I was playing around with, and we were just in the middle of practice, and I started playing just this easy, edge kind of real easy riff. And Austin just jumps in with this real pretty melody part on the bass. And then from there, we just take it straight Kurt Cobain and just go very 90s grunge with it. And we have the whole song written in like 20 minutes,
Yeah,
It took a little while to work on the vocal melody. We tried a couple of things.
But again, it was a very
The song
simple.
was written pretty much on the fly.
Yeah.
We had obviously you could probably had to polish that a bit, but
I even think he wrote the chorus line that day, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
It was just, it's nice when you can just write a song that easily and they just come that
a
organically.
lot of our stuff ends up coming out that easily. It's just a jam, and all of a sudden Keith comes back 2 days later going, "Hey, I got words for that."
How about you, Keith?
Okay, one of the songs I really like on the album is Iron and Steel. It's toward the end of the album. For me, this song was particularly meaningful because it's one of the songs on the album that's a bit of a protest song. As far as the lyrics of the song, we don't really use symbolism much at all in our protest. It's pretty obvious what the meaning of the song's about. And it pretty much deals with, with the black-white experience and race relations in the United States. And for me, it's a pretty passionate subject because I think everybody needs to, take a step back, look at the way we treat each other in this country, and specifically the way we treat people that are a little different than us. And so I think this song kind of points out some of the aspects about black-white relations in this country that are a little shameful. But it's a song I really enjoyed. A couple things I like about it is it has a pretty simple little blues riff. It's a blues song. We just had one vocal take. There's no layering of the vocals or anything like that, so that you can really hear the words. And I'm really proud of the way it turned out, and I hope people listen to it and use it to think a little bit about the way they look at the world and the way they look at other people, especially people that are different than them.
Put yourself in someone else's shoes a little bit.
Exactly.
That's a great song. I like
Thank
that
you.
one too. So, how about you, Daly?
The song I kind of settled into pretty well was 36-24-666. And Austin had kind of come up with the riff when we were back in Indiana, and it was just
Yeah, I've
something we
been
would
playing
kind of
with
play
that
around
one
with.
for a long, long time.
And it's something that really kind of stuck with me. So when we had gotten all back together, he, brought this kind of polished version of it to me, and I realized that it was this driving song. That's kind of how he sold it to me. It's like it's a driving song. So kind of realized that this was going to be my song to grab onto and practice all the time and do everything I could just to fit as much as I could into this song. Because
Finally use the cowbell.
there's there's plenty of room for cowbell. There's it's a tempo that has to be constantly pedaled to the metal. You can't kind of let up on it or anything. The whole song slows down. The whole car slows down. You got people
No one's
honking.
having any fun.
No one's having any fun when anyone's honking the horn. So yeah, 3624-666 was really a song that you just can't let go of.
Yeah,
You got it.
that's a good driving song.
It is.
I do like that one. All right, Austin.
It'll get you pulled over.
3 times so far.
I love Scorpion Death Drop, and that's not just because I wrote the riff and had the main core idea for it. I love pro wrestling. Too sweet to me, bro. But so, Sting is my favorite wrestler and probably always will be. And his finishing maneuver is the Scorpion Death Drop. And the more I thought about it, the more it didn't make any sense to me. So we wrote a song to make it make sense.
Like, there's no way a scorpion could be strong enough to drop something
No,
like that. It
not
doesn't
at
make any
all.
sense. There had to be more to the story.
So our story is about a man taking his family on a nice vacation and then falling in a plane crash, going through one of the worst things he could go through, but still living, and then dealing with his own death on a very slow basis. Just coming to terms with it. It was a really high concept, and Keith nailed it. I still can't believe that we are able to so precisely tell that story through music. And it's a story that I really want to keep continuing. Not so much continuing his story because he dies, spoiler, but
I mean, it's right there.
No,
in
I
the
hate
title,
spoilers,
you know?
Austin.
I know I wanted to hit it at the beginning, but then I forgot. But I want to kind of keep going. That's definitely my next plan for a music video. I have an idea for a comic book with it. It's a really good story. I'm really proud of Keith and what we created with it.
I'm not over this yet. Will you pour me a shot, please?
Yeah, me too.
Was that Bush?
Yes, it was.
And you know, Scorpion Death Drop also is one of those songs that I had said before on Iron and Steel. There's symbolism, but the lyrics are pretty straightforward. Well, obviously on this song, the lyrics are pretty straightforward, and it tells a story of a guy that survives a plane crash, but then gets stung by a scorpion and dies.
Our
but
lovely host, Tracy White.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
good job.
pro. But it also highlights
but-
one of the great things about Keith's lyricism, you know. There's the 5 stages of grief in that song, you know.
Yeah,
and
it
they're
symbolizes
just so
something
artistically
where,
crafted. I mean,
you know, so you survive something large only to get screwed over, or you know, by something very small. It happens all the time. You know, you see the running back in a football game. He makes the great juke, and he's off, and then he trips over his shoelace or his own foot. You know, it's like that kind of thing. It's like you avoid the tackle, and then you trip yourself. It's the same thing with Scorpion Death Drop because it's very relatable because it happens a lot. I mean, Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, for example.
it's
you know,
dramatic irony on its
yeah,
own.
right. I mean, so anyway.
And then musically in it, the surf rock section is one of my favorite things we do live.
The-
Just being able to transfer so seamlessly into it and then right back out into this heavy riff. It's so much fun.
Quite a wave to ride.
No, I really dig that song too. It's a killer song.
Ah,
And the production quality and the layering on the guitar,
Again, our
especially,
host, Tracy White, everyone.
as far as the, oh yeah, there's
what's your favorite song, Tracy?
All right. Well, so and we discussed this a little bit before. You know, this little program. I have a
No,
lot
this
of
is all
favorite
right
songs.
off the cuff.
Yeah, right.
100%.
There was a slight discussion. So I have different favorite songs for different reasons. You know, it might be the groove, it might be the lyric, you know, it might be the meaning behind the song, like Iron and Steel. But one of the songs that I kind of got to digging is Manny's Sweater, and because it's a fun groove anyway. But once I realized or was told who Manny is, then it just kind of made the song so much better. But
Old Manford.
that was one of the one song that we did a video for. So we took some footage in the studio, and then we went on location to one of their live shows and took some footage too, and then put it to the studio mix of the song. And let's play that. We have a clip for you guys, right?
Oh, good.
Right up here. So let's play that.
Yeah, and actually, in footage here, I believe one of these sets of shots is literally the scratch tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, the studio.
Yes, I think it was the day that we were recording this. Tracy, you just got your new 4K camera.
That's right. Yeah.
So you had come in and just done a little bit of footage. And darn it, we looked so good it ended up in a music video.
You'll
It's
notice
4Ks,
that
by
Keith's
the way.
wearing a Ween shirt.
Interesting
Look
fact
at that
about
handsome
Keith,
guy.
Keith never wears the same pair of sunglasses twice.
That's true.
He's got a drawer full
Is
of
that the
them.
truth?
I work at a thrift store.
So Austin uses only the best products on his hair, as you can see here in the video.
Pantene Pro V. It's good stuff. They're not paying for this, but they should.
And Daly wears CoverGirl.
Shout out to everyone in that shot right there for coming out to our shows. Like Scooter, Molly, Dom.
RD, Dom.
Dom actually did some vocals on the album too.
Yes, he did get into 36. He was part of our gang.
God, look at that. It's so good.
Shout out to Brad Huffer, too, for always being there, watching us play.
This was the first track that we recorded on the Baby Shake music. We fully plan on going back and revisiting all of them over time.
One by one. Our idea is to take all the songs off Baby Shaking Music and one by one kind of release them on our next album. As our albums go on, you'll see more of that.
All right, Keith. So, I mean, do you want to spoil it? Do you want to tell everybody who Manny
Yeah,
is?
tell
or-
him who Manny is.
Oh, okay. So Manny is my Great Dane puppy. Well, she's not a puppy anymore. He'll actually be 9 this month.
Wow.
Still
And,
technically a puppy.
Still technically a puppy, but yeah, he's a big old boy. He's just a runt for a Great Dane, but he's about 130 pound.
He's
Great
bigger
Dane.
than I am.
If he stands up, he'll put his front paws on your shoulders, and his head will be. I'm 6 feet tall, and he's probably another 8 to 10 inches above me with his head. So he's a big guy, but he's a big baby. But yeah,
Tail like a whip.
so that's Manny, and
Head of security.
he would lay out in the garage and listen to us play back in the days of infancy in Muncie. He was in on just about every single practice, to a point where he'd even wag his tail so rhythmically that Nick would sometimes do the chords on the top of the neck and allow Manny to play the rhythm.
Yeah, we just slapped the strings right there.
Right.
and
Hey, that would be great live.
Manny taught me everything I know about
If
drums.
we could pull it off.
Manny's
But,
a pretty awesome dog, right?
But just a quick background. The reason it's called Manny's sweater is Keith used to have this long-running joke ever since Manny was a puppy, where he would
Which he
walk up
still
to him
is.
and he'd be like, "Manny, you're wearing the same damn clothes I've seen you in every day. You
Why don't
never
you get
change
you a
your
new
clothes."
sweater? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the.
So
I
I
would
came
call
up
it-
with this little blues riff, and he was just like, "Oh, I know what to
Man,
do."
that's great. No,
It's kind
that's
of one
really
of those silly songs you sing to your own dog, only we actually made a song out of it.
great. Yeah. No, it's awesome. It's awesome. So, again, yeah, Anne Funk's Diary. It's out now. Buy it whenever you can. And guys, if you want to say anything to wrap up the program, we're going to wrap it up and let everybody go and listen to the album. So what you got?
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone,
thanks,
for
everyone.
giving us this opportunity. Really, please go buy the album, check it out, even stream it on Spotify, anywhere you can. We just really want everyone to enjoy this as much as we do.
We will be releasing this interview for free.
Oh, you're not going to
So-
charge people to
Yeah,
listen
Right,
to
really?
this?
so
Yeah.
If you have paid money for it, something's not right. Get a hold of Manny in accounting. His email will be in the information later on.
I'll put it in the description.
And we would also like to thank 3DB Studios for this opportunity.
Studio.
Studio. My bad.
Yeah, honestly.
Nice catch.
Damn it! I knew I would do
There
that.
is only one of us.
But
Actually, I'm told we have a graphic of Manny's email address. False alarm,
technical
never mind.
No,
difficulties.
sorry.
Yeah,
Alright.
honestly,
But
though.
thanks to Dan, Maury, and Tracy for all their hard work on this. They did a great job. They put in way more work than we actually paid them for, and so
They probably put in way more work than we put in recording the album.
All
Actually.
right,
That's
we,
I don't know.
absolutely
Y'all
true.
worked pretty hard.
we should probably leave as soon as possible now that they know this.
No, and we'd like to thank you guys for being awesome. Just to start with, and for having a really great product, a really great attitude, and just having fun with it. That's what we try to do here is kind of remove those barriers of oh, you got to do it in this amount of time, so you guys can be creative, and it really has shown through on this album. And I hope everybody that's watching this and ends up listening to the album, they'll see that. They'll see how much enjoyment went into it and how much talent you guys have. So thanks again.
Thank you.
thank
man.
you, Tracy.
All right, guys. Thanks. Buy the album, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Signing off.
Salute.
Over and out.